Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today I thought we'd do something a bit fun. We're going to make Pamela Anderson from Baywatch. So let's get started. We're only going to need 3 colours. We're going to use a blonde colour for her hair, so a yellow colour. I'm using Lucky Loom's yellow. It's a little bit less in your face, a little bit more pastel than the vibrant yellow. I'm using Skin Tone. And I'm using red for her bathing costume. I'm also going to be using 2 little mini pony beads. They're a size 7mm by 4mm for her eyes. Let's get started. Our loom is going to be in the offset configuration, so column 1 and 3 are going to be slightly lower than column 2. The arrow is facing towards us, or the open part of the peg is facing towards us, and we're going to be double banding, and that means you place 2 bands on the pegs together as if they were one. So we're going to start with the back of her head, which will be blonde hair, and we're doing her hair as if it was in a messy bun. Alright, so let's lay the bands. If you can hear sound in the background, it's Mario. Izzy and my husband are busy Marioing, I should say. Okay, so to this side, it's all a bit curled up on each other. Okay, now let's take a single and stretch it across these 3 pegs here, and then we're going to put our bun on, and as I said, it's going to be a messy bun at the back of her head. So I'm going to take 4 bands, place them through my hook, twist and reclaim. That's going to be the bun. I'm going to lift these 2 bands off here and slide those onto it. Okay, and you can pretty it up like that and just reattach those 2 there. Then we're going to put another another band here as our crossover. Now, one of the things that I want for her hair is to have these wispy bits all over the place. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take a single yellow, and just under one of the bands I'm going to pull my single yellow through, take the other end and tie it in a slip knot like that. Okay, and I'm going to do a couple of these just randomly wherever I feel like it. I'm going to do 2 on this particular band, and these are just to, and I'm going to tie it quite tightly. Okay, these are just so that they can look like runaway wispy bits of hair. Pull it tight. Okay, so there's 2 that side. I'm going to put a couple this side as well. Oops. So I've got 2 on each side of those bands. Alright, I'm going to put maybe 1 up here, maybe 1 on the other side. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that like that. Now, Skin Tone, I'm going to put an end cap here. Skin Tone band, 1, wrap it once and twice and pop on the end here. Then I'm going to go underneath that and loop up these 2 yellow bands and the 2 yellow bands on this side and the 2 yellow bands here, and then these bottom 2. I'm going to go for these bottom 2. I'm going to stop there. I only do 2 here, and I'm only going to do 1 this side and 1 this side. And when I say 1, I mean we're only looping up 1 pair. We're not looping it up to the top of her head. Okay, push these all down. You need to have some space. Alright, we're going to lay the bands for her face. So the skin tone bands, we start with 2 here in the middle, because her hair is at the top. We don't want to start at the top. And we're going to put 2 here. Now I'm going to try and make sure that these bands are not twisted on themselves, because otherwise that makes for a twisted looking face, and I don't really like that. 2 here. Push things down. Let's push that down. I'm having problems looping these on because my bands are too high up on the peg. There we go. I'm going to just run my hook along the inside, and that sort of stops them from being twisted. Take a single band and stretch it over these 3 pegs. That's our crossover. We're going to put 2 bands here. The first one we're going to take, we twist 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, like that. The second one we're going to slide our eyes onto. Now if you don't have beads, use bands. Okay, 1 band on your hook, twist it round 4 times is 1 bead. So you do it twice. Then you would slide them onto a skin tone band. Stretch it across these pegs like so, and take the top part of this band up and over that peg there. Alright, we're going to use 2 bands for her neck like that. Now this next step is very important. You have the 2 bands for the neck, but behind it you have the 2 bands, well, the 1 band that made up the end cap with the hair on the end. You're going to pull that out, up and over to sit on top of those neck bands. Okay, that's really important. That ties her hair into her face. Alright, we're going to go down to her chest area. I'm going to do 2 for the chest, and we're going to do some shoulder bands. And then we have the famous red swimming suit. So we have, push everything down, 2 red, so we'll put 3 red in the middle. Now we're back to skin tone for her legs. I'm going to do that all the way to the bottom of the loom. And on the other side. So for her feet, take 2 skin tone and place them on your hook, wrap once and twice. You're going to slide onto 2 skin tone and reclaim the end of your band. 2 skin tone, wrap once and twice, and slide in between the first set. 2 skin tone, slide them all on. Reclaim the end of your band, angle your foot, and it gets popped on here. Do the same for the other side. 2 skin tone, wrap once and twice. slide on to 2 skin tone, reclaim the end of your bands, 2 skin tone, wrap once and twice, slide on over like that, and now we slide onto 2 skin tone, reclaim the end, angle your foot, that gets popped on here. Okay, now let's finish, go up a bit further. We're going to go 2 bands from the center to the right, 2 bands from the center to the left. We need to have an end cap here, single band, wrap once and twice, slid onto the center peg there. Take a single band and stretch it between these 3 pegs for her hips. Now for her waist, we're going to take a single band, stretch it, figure 8, loop it on itself, and it will go like that. We can do the same for the middle, stretch it on itself, so it's a single band looped on itself, and then here we take a single and stretch it over those 3 pegs. For the hands, a single band, wrap once and twice, and we're sliding onto 5 pair. So here's our first pair. Oh, that's a horrid band, look at that. It's got a bit, let's get rid of that. Second pair. Third pair. Fourth pair. Oops. And 5th pair. Pop that onto her shoulder like so. Single band, wrap once and twice, slide onto a pair and reclaim, and a pair, 3, 4 and 5. Pop that on this shoulder. Now there's absolutely no way we can just leave her like this. Pamela Anderson is a bodaciously buxom wench, so we need to do a bit of fancy footwork around the chest area. So we're going to grab some red bands. Now this is a bit fiddly, but there we go, that's what it is. So we're going to loop up and then we're going to do our fancy footwork. Dig down, find the 2 skin tone bands, and we loop these up, and the same on the other side. Dig down past the end cap and find the 2 top red bands, loop to the corresponding side. So if yours are to the left, you loop to the left. If yours are to the right, you loop to the right. There we go. Okay, push things down, up center, okay, just looking for those bottom 2 red bands. Alright, now I've just looped to here. The first thing we're going to do is we've looped to the center here. We're going to take 2 red bands. Now we need to be able to get our bands under here. So under here, I might actually even just put them on this peg for a second and hold them. I need to go under this band here, grab those 2 red bands, okay, like this. I'm going to just put my hook on. Oops. I'm going to hold them like that. So I've got one side on here, I'm holding, I'm swapping the sides with my hook, and then I'll take the other end off that peg like that. So can you see how I've got one split like that? I'm going to take a pair, I'm going to just slide those through and reclaim the end. I'm going to put one end here, and for the moment I'm putting the other end at this center peg. Okay, now what I'm doing next, I'm going to loop up this band here. Okay, I'm going to take another pair. I'm going down this peg. I have to have my hook in front of the crossover band. Grab two, pull back up through the center of that peg to the back side of it, like that. Okay, they are going on this peg as well, and then these bands that I was just resting there, I will put on top. I'm then going to dig down and find the two bottom bands and loop up. Okay, let's do the same for the other side. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is get our two red bands underneath here. So grab, and however you can do it, whatever way is easiest for you to get them under there. That was quite easy for me that time. Okay, so I have them under there. I'm getting two red bands. I'm going to slide them through like that. Okay, I'm going to put one on that one side on that center peg. Okay, the other side I'm putting here. I'm looping these up. I'm going to take two red. I need to go down in front of the crossover, drag these back to the outside of the peg, loop them on that peg, and grab these bands and put back in place, dig down, find the two red and loop up. Then we're going to loop the center, we'll loop the arms next, the chest to the neck, dig down, find the two skin tone bands. Now we're finding the two top skin tone, link them, loop them to the left, loop the next to the right. This time we're going for the two skin tone bands to loop up the middle, but make sure you're not getting that end cap. There's an end cap there that can be quite tricky. So there we go, the center. Now we're going for the skin tone bands this side, and only the skin tone. You don't want to get the yellow bands involved in this. The next two go here. Now we're digging down for the yellow bands on both sides, in the center and one side and second side. We need two yellow bands to tie off. I always use two because it's an insurance policy. So stick my hook all the way down the center of that peg. I like to twist my hook so the back side of it goes against those bands and doesn't snag anything. Reclaim the end of the band on my hook, up, over and off, and pull tight. Let's take her off the loom. Gently does it, we don't want any broken bands. Take her neck, shoulders, take her and stretch her out a little bit. Arms, you're going to pull up and down. Now, with the chest area, as you can see, it's sort of a bit flat at the minute. Stick your hook through and pull out. and on the other side. Pull out like that. Straps of her bathing suit are twisted. Try and fix that. So stretch her out. Now for her face. Again, stretch it to give it a bit of shape. Here's the messy bun at the back, and as you can see, I'm going to pull that a bit, we can trim some of her messy tangles. So I'm going to take the first one, I'm going to snip it, and I'm just going to snip to about the length that I want. So it looks like she's got wispy bits of hair. And there's no right or wrong length for this, it's whatever you feel is good. Now I'm going to fiddle with the bangs a bit. I'm going to take the two tie-off bands, go to the back of her hair here, and drag those back. Oh, there's another wispy bit. Let's trim that. Now with these I'm just going to snip and snip, and where I think that it needs to, I'm just going to push my hook in and stretch the bands out to tighten things up a bit. I think her eyes have sunk to the back of her head a bit, so poke those out. There we go. So there's the messy bun at the back of her hair. Okay, her red bathing suit, her buxom chest, and you can sort that out. There we have Pamela Anderson in all her glory. Hope you enjoy making her. Take care.